November 18th, and my name is Bill McCamley. I'm a state representative from Las Cruces and Mesilla with your legislative update for today, which is November 18th, 2016. Three things on the agenda I'd like to talk to you about today. The first is a meeting I was at earlier in the week of the Technology Interim Committee here in New Mexico. And the big topic of discussion was broadband and high-intensity internet access. So businesses, the State Association of Commerce and Industry, which is basically the statewide chamber of commerce, made broadband internet their number one priority, ahead of even taxes, regulations, educated workforce, that sort of thing. So much of the economy and how it moves is moving online that when we don't have good internet access in many parts of the state, it creates a barrier for business. So we talked about some of the challenges we have in getting that. And obviously this is a rural state. The way that internet is given to people through right now phone companies, cable companies, some electric co-ops are now doing broadband. It's it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle. And what that does is create some areas of the state where you have overlap of many different services, and other areas of the state where there's hardly any, if there's even a service to choose from for broadband internet. There's also a conflict between the providers that do things over fiber, so Comcast, CenturyLink, telephone co-ops, that sort of thing, and wireless providers like AT&T and Verizon, who are developing 5G speeds for wireless internet, and that may actually solve a lot of the problems. But in order to get that, you have to be able to get a good cell tower, and a fiber has to run to the cell tower. So there's some conflicts about who is providing what service and how that's done, but that's something we're going to have to try to work out because we need it for things. We need it for jobs. People need it for their own personal use, and we had a good presentation on telehealth, which is where if you can't get, for instance, a specialist to be in a certain part of the state to provide a medical service, you can have a nurse practitioner put on even like Google glasses, and they can look at a patient and see what's going on, and a doctor over the internet can actually make a diagnosis, and that's really important for especially many rural parts of the state. Secondly, I want to talk about Jeff Sessions, who Trump nominated today to be the Attorney General. He has a very, very hardline, at least has had hardline rhetoric on marijuana. He's been quoted as saying, good people don't smoke marijuana. He likes the just say no to drugs type of approach. And this is really important for many states that have medicinal and recreational use for cannabis. Why? Well, the Cole memo was put out in 2009 by the Attorney General under Obama. And what they said was the federal government will not prosecute crimes regarding marijuana unless there's something like 8 things that you violate. So you can't sell to kids, or you can't grow on federal property, et cetera, and so on. If Sessions removes that memo and starts prosecuting people for smoking or eating edibles with cannabis in it, it really will hurt a lot of the states that have not only gone legalization, but also with medicinal programs. So people with cancer and PTSD and MS that use cannabis for their health problems, that's a big question mark. Now, Trump, like on many things, has gone back and forth, but his most recent comment says he wants to leave it up to the states. But if his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, governs like he's talked about in the past, then it will create a lot of conflicts for us. Lastly, I just want to talk about Sunday. Well, this weekend. So Saturday, the House Republicans will be meeting to determine their leaders. On Sunday, House Democrats will be meeting to determine their leaders, since we just had an election. And we're going to be choosing new folks for the legislative session. That will probably include it definitely will include the Democratic nominee for Speaker of the House, which will probably be the Speaker of the House. That's generally the way that sort of thing works. So it's a very important vote coming up on Sunday, and I'll be back at you either on Sunday or Monday with news regarding that. As always, if you have questions, comments, or concerns on these or any other issues, I would love to hear from you. Thanks a lot. I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe weekend. Bye.